Sleaze with Leslie Fram, brought to you by Jim Ellis Automotive, where you can always expect the best. Fram, Sleaze me.
Just watching all of the coverage for Rosalynn Carter's memorial service in Atlanta, of course, 99-year-old Jimmy Carter in attendance, obviously. Bill and Hillary Clinton, Joe and Jill Biden, Michelle Obama, Laura Bush, Kamala Harris, Melania Trump. But this was a surprise. How amazing. Trisha Yearwood and Garth Brooks singing Imagine at the tribute.
Isn't it wild seeing people out of context? Like, imagine going to your church or wherever you go to worship, and out comes Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood.
And, they were, I know that Jimmy Carter was friends with a lot of artists and musicians, and Trisha's such a class act, she and Garth, but this really gave me chills.
Yeah, listen to Garth. He didn't sing any lead. He was doing harmonies and playing guitar. Not that he was, I just want to paint a picture. It starts out just with him playing guitar, and then a whole band joins them.
You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one.
And that was definitely a moment.
Yeah, speechless on that one. That just gave me chills. Well, I have to read this. This was so unbelievably touching. Amy Carter read a love letter written 75 years ago by her father, Jimmy Carter, to Rosalynn Carter. Did you see? Have you read this?
No, I haven't seen it.
Well, Amy's the fourth and the youngest of the couple's children, and at the tribute, she talked about, I chose to read something that's going to be very hard without crying.
I bet.
My mom spent most of her life in love with my dad. Their partnership and love story was a defining feature of her life. Read this. Here we go. This is a love letter that I don't know how she got through it. Love letter that Jimmy wrote to Rosalynn. Quote, "My darling, every time I have ever been away from you, I have been thrilled when I return to discover just how wonderful you are. While I am away, I try to convince myself that you really are not and could not be as sweet and beautiful as I remember. But when I see you, I fall in love with you all over again. Does that seem strange to you? It doesn't to me. Goodbye, darling, until tomorrow. Jimmy." Wow. Known for his love letters.
Yeah, I mean, that to be married 77 years? I mean, some people are lucky to
live
live
story.
that long. Yeah, pretty amazing.
Well, we mentioned this in Sleaze this week. First, he quit Shark Tank. Now, Mark Cuban is selling his majority stake in the Dallas Mavericks.
Man.
Still holding on to the reins in basketball operations, but he's already a billionaire. He's selling his majority stake to Miriam Adelson, a casino heir, for $3.5 billion.
Bro is liquidating.
What's after billion? Trillion? Is he going to be the first trillionaire?
Possibly, but he's got a ways to go. But still, I heard the interview with him on our Best Of, I think last month. And at that point, he was already worth $1 billion. And now it's like 12, well, not even counting these sales.
Unbelievable. Yeah, why is he liquidating?
I don't know. I guess the dude's tired.
A poll found that America's favorite holiday classic to rewatch every year is, what would you say, Barnes?
Holiday classic?
Yeah, holiday classic.
There's so many of them, I have no idea. The Grinch?
My favorite is A Christmas Story. Remember TBS used to run it like 24 hours?
Yeah, starting the day after Thanksgiving for a month.
Every year is Home Alone.
Oh, yeah. I could see that.
Followed by A Christmas Story, and then A Charlie Brown Christmas.
Funny, family.
Do you think this guy is getting close to being a billionaire? Maybe not. Guy Fieri just signed a new 3-year deal with the Food Network for $100 million.
I don't think it would be a stretch. He's had many years of making a lot of money.
And he's got restaurants.
Yeah, that dude eats a lot. I don't know how he's not bigger, to be honest.
It's unbelievable.
Just with his job.
Unbelievable. And as you're watching holiday movies, guess what? Ooh, Lifetime. Lifetime's first holiday movie with a sex scene.
What?
My friend Jana Kramer's in it. A Cowboy Christmas Romance. The very first, this is big, Lifetime holiday movie with a sex scene.
Hold on,
I'm not sure how much they show.
That's your friend?
You know Jana Kramer. She was in One Tree Hill.
But she's your friend?
Yeah, Jana was a country artist.
Oh, I didn't know that. And
Yeah,
so is she
anyway.
the one doing the nude scene?
Yeah, she says, quote, "It's still Lifetime, it's still family, but it was pushing limits."
You know exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be one of those things where something is blocking a boob, like a person. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be so not a nude scene that they're just trying to market as
So
a nude
not a nude scene.
scene. Yeah, Lifetime. Come on.
Oh, remember Mike the Situation, Sorrentino? Barely. Claims he once had a sex tape stashed away in a case if he ever needed to sell it for some extra money.
Who would buy
care?
it? Right.
Who would care?
I don't know.
Fans of Jersey Shore, I guess. But he got really candid about this quote-unquote insurance policy. He kept it in his office during a conversation with E.T. ahead of his memoir, Barnes. How I Overcame Addiction, Loss, and Prison. Hitting shelves December 16th.
Oh, stocking stuffer, not.
So he's talking about his insurance policy.
But eventually, I became a dependent, and I became addicted on these substances. And on shows like Dancing with the Stars and the talk shows, I was always high.
That's not news.
Just quickly, the reason he never sold it, he wasn't offered enough money.
Okay,
What does that tell you?
we kind of assumed you were on
What does that tell you?
something, bro.
Cover of People, I don't know if you've read any of this, but Shannon Doherty wants to embrace life as cancer has spread to her bones. Quote, "My greatest memory is yet to come." And she's doing this entire article, but also a kind of a podcast saying, "I don't want to die." As she continues to receive treatment, she says, "I am not done with living." And now she's going to do this sort of memoir-style podcast called Let's Be Clear with Shannon Doherty, premiering December 6th, iHeart, or wherever you get your podcasts. And she's going to talk about her whole life, her career. I mean, Beverly Hills 90210. She's going to talk about it all. That's something I would definitely listen to.
She's been a fighter this whole time. And
I know she's had cancer forever.
it seems like forever. It's so sad.
And then the cancer returned. It's unbelievable. I don't know if you saw about this, Barnes, but Keith Morrison, the host of Dateline, is breaking his silence on the tragic death of his stepson, Matthew Perry. Because, you know, remember campers were following him around?
He was one of the first on the scene, and the cameras were like right on him on the street.
No. Quote, "This is not the sort of thing I commonly do, this pitch, but this year is different, and tomorrow is Giving Tuesday." He wrote this on Monday. Do what you can. He would have been grateful. And then he talked about the Matthew Perry Foundation, obviously helping people struggling with the disease of addiction. So hard for that family.
That was the most awkward paparazzi moment with all those paparazzi just
Terrible.
chasing I mean, the dude's body is still inside and they're all over him. He was trying to go up and talk to the dad and the mom showing up, and the paparazzi are like 2 inches from his face. How do you control yourself?
Let's just be respectful, people. I love this headline. Family Feud contestants had to take herpes tests when Richard Dawson was the host.
After or before?
Before.
Oh, because he
There's
kisses
a new
them.
book called
Oh, wow.
Outrageous, A History of Showbiz and the Culture Wars. Yes, they would go into people's dressing rooms and they had to undergo a mouth test with a magnifying glass from medical staff because he wanted to kiss everybody.
Can you imagine that show being on the air in this time?
Unbelievable.
No chance.
There's
I mean, that guy got away with so much.
unbelievable. A little revelation, Howard Stern almost had a part in A Star is Born, according to Bradley Cooper. Did you know that?
I saw that and I can't imagine it.
Yeah, apparently Cooper said, "Hey, did we ever talk about how I asked you to do A Star is Born?" He was on Stern's show. And of course, Stern's like, "I've never told anyone because I felt bad for the guy who got the role,"
Yeah, right.
which of course was Sam Elliott.
But he's such a character that, and I like Howard Stern. He's such a character that it would be weird in a movie like that to see him Well, maybe it would have been a great platform to show his acting.
I don't know, but I think Sam Elliott was the right choice.
He was good.
Howard also gave Bradley a little choice. Would you like to win an Oscar in 2024 or a Super Bowl win for the Philadelphia Eagles? Bradley said the Eagles.
Yeah, that
a
man.
win for the Eagles. What?
I guess because that's easy to say when you already have an Academy Award, right?
Were you ever a fan of that series Fargo?
The first one, the movie, yes. And then I
never got into the series.
I never got into it either.
Which I hear is great, but there's a new season already out. John Hamm did a nude scene for one of the episodes.
He's everywhere. I mean, he's such a
morning
likable
show and
he's such a likable guy. He's really such a natural on screen. You know, every time you see him, you just keep watching.
Here he is talking to Jimmy Kimmel about it, and that's your Sleaze.
Naked's fine. Cold naked is not great. I'm more of a warm
naked.
Warm naked.
I've always said that about you. He's kind of a warm naked guy,
Beautifully warm naked.
The Morning X with Barnes and Leslie.
99X.